Whenever you're ready.
Did you know that every year about 9 million sexually transmitted infections occur among teens in the United States? That's a whole lot of infections. Also, the United States has one of the highest teen pregnancy rates in the world, and this is due to the lack of knowledge being presented to them either by their parents or their school. In 1 year, I'll have my master's in special education, and I feel it's my responsibility as a teacher to provide all students with the necessary information of life. One of my students last year came up to me and said she wanted to have sex with her boyfriend. This student had Down syndrome, and I am 100% positive that she has never been formally taught anything about sex education, nor does she know the outcomes of sex. All students, no matter what, if they have a disability or not, need to learn about the body they were given and its functions. Children in today's society are growing up faster than a blink of an eye, and as the new generation approaches, it's important that they learn about the importance of sex education in school, where most resources are available, rather than at home. Today I'm going to talk to you about the statistics of sex education, the benefits of school education, and the next step, comprehensive sex education. Let's first take a look at what most schools are teaching. Historically, I don't know if you guys remember, but sex education is usually taught in the 5th or 6th grade. I remember being taught in the 5th grade about sex education, and mainly emphasizes abstinence. But let's get real, abstinence in the 5th and 6th grade. At this time, most children are just developing into their bodies and forming relationships with peers. They cannot think about abstinence. What sex education really should be talking about is teaching students and helping them prevent STDs, unwanted pregnancies, and encouraging students that sex is part of the normal life cycle and should not be embarrassed about it. If the school doesn't teach this, will the parents? Adolescents rank parents, peers, and media as important sources of sex information, according to a story by NPR. This information provided by sources, however, is not always accurate. Parents don't always have their correct information, or they're too embarrassed to talk to their kids about safe sex. And oftentimes, parents even tell their children don't have sex at all. In a study done by the Guttmacher Institute, 79% of females and 70% of males reported talking to their parents about at least 1 out of 6 sex ed topics. However, where are the other answers coming from? These are coming from the schools. In 2006, 87% of students in public and private schools were taught that abstinence was the most important way to avoid pregnancy. However, with the current rise of pregnancy, obviously abstinence is not working. One day, hopefully, we will all be parents, and whether you decide to talk to your kids about sex education or leave it up to the school, we need to make sure that students are being taught a little bit more than just abstinence. If your child does choose to have sex, how will they know about birth control and condoms if we're not teaching them that? Teaching about abstinence in the classrooms is not the solution, so let's discover the new solution to sex education. Although most schools do teach sex education at some point in a child's life, schools often display sex unrealistically. Given the facts that 87% of students in public and private schools are taught abstinence, and by a teen's 19th birthday, 7 out of 10 students are having sex, obviously not everything is being taught. So there's a solution to these numbers, and that solution is comprehensive sex education. Comprehensive sex education is not just a short video showing about the human body, the menstrual cycle. Rather, it's a multiple-step program that starts as early as kindergarten. And it teaches about the students' bodies and emotions as they're going through them. So each year, a student takes a class by a teacher who is very professionally trained. And the main message of this program is to teach students how to protect themselves in the future. This step-by-step process is set up by age-appropriate material. For instance, in kindergarten, the kindergartners are taught about the correct terminology of their body. And a book is usually provided for the students, as well as social stories that display what they should know. And not only does it teach about sex education, it also teaches about relationships with friends and family and how to handle them. According to the failure of sex education, an article written by the Atlantic News, currently New Jersey is the only state to adopt this new way of teaching. However, it's not new for them. In 1980, New Jersey was the first state to require primary grade students to attend sex education. Currently, New Jersey, every student receives about 24 hours a year of sex education. Comprehensive sex education has proven to work in New Jersey amongst the community, because right now they're currently ranked have a 5-star rating for sex information, so they must be doing something right. With this solution, there are only positive outcomes. So if all schools adopt this new solution to sex education, students will be more knowledgeable about protection, contraceptives, and sex. It could even potentially lower the rate of teen pregnancies and sexually transmitted diseases. Students will be more aware of their options so they can make smarter decisions. Although we are not affected by these changes in sex education, your future is. As future parents or future aunts and uncles, trust your school district in teaching your children the necessities of life. All children are born with sexual instincts. Therefore, at a young age, they should be taught how to recognize and control these instincts without having to feel embarrassed or afraid. Schools should be a place where your child can go to and feel comfortable in their environment. So in the future, let your teachers do their job and teach your children the things they need to know.